We have recently surpassed Bitcoin Core in transaction volume, we meaning Bitcoin SV and the Bitcoin SV ecosystem. So I'm going to show this wonderful website, sv.coin.dance, that has these statistics on it. So I'm just going to scroll down and look at these charts here that show us the transaction volume. So this is block size, and this is the transactions per block. And it looks like on average by both metrics, we have organically surpassed BTC now. So of course there are a bunch of spikes along the way. So the red one is Bitcoin SV and the yellow one is BTC. So we can see that we had some spikes along the way, but we seem to have basically crossed a sort of threshold here now where it doesn't look like just a spike. And in any case, even if it is just a spike and we spike back down below it, clearly we are on an upward trajectory here for the past year, and BTC is not. BTC, of course, cannot possibly grow because they've decided to restrict the maximum block size to 1 megabyte, or if you include SegWit, it's something like 2 megabytes, whatever it is. But in any case, there's no more room for transaction volume on BTC. So BTC will definitely not be growing. So anyway, I just wanted to look at this as a sort of a point in history about where we are, because when Bitcoin SV was launched a year ago, we were very much sort of ignored and ridiculed by the rest of the cryptocurrency industry. But that's because they were basing all of their opinions on the public face of Craig Wright rather than on anything that actually mattered. And what we're seeing now is because basically the fact that we're using the original protocol, and that the original protocol at a protocol level solved every problem, and that includes the ability to do things like, have authenticated data and immutable data and things like this, as well as payments and contracts and everything like this. People are using it for applications. So in a future video, I want to talk about many of the applications that are using Money Button. We have about 5 or 10 popular apps, as well as a long tail of hundreds of less popular apps that are using Money Button, and those are just the ones using Money Button. So I don't know how many apps there are in the entire ecosystem, but if we have hundreds of them that are using Money Button, well, I'm pretty sure that's where this transaction volume is coming from. I mean, it's these applications. Now, some of this is sort of automated payments. So there's an app called Weather SV that automatically puts data on the blockchain. So it's not like every transaction is necessarily a user, making a mental decision about something. Some of it's automated, but the automated stuff is all funded by users. So it's happening very quickly. Okay, so let's scroll back up here and look at this other thing. I think this is also interesting. And I don't want to go through the whole history of everything, but let's just briefly consider this in the context of what's going on. It is currently 1,400 times more expensive to transact on BTC as measured in USD than on BSV. And it's also currently 7% more profitable to mine on BSV. Now, the profitability thing goes back and forth all the time, so that it's always near equilibrium. However, the cost of transacting on BTC is much higher, and this never is near equilibrium. It is always radically cheaper to transact on BSV than BTC. So this is not, we're not talking like 1% or something. We're talking 1,400 times more expensive to transact on BTC. The reason for that is because basically the people that took over BTC do not understand economics in the slightest and think that people are going to be willing to pay these higher fees to transact on BTC. Of course, they are right now, but that's because the people using BTC are a niche audience with literally zero room to grow. So I don't know how this could possibly get more expensive. In any case, what we're doing on BSV is the original protocol, except with an uncapped block size. And so there's just room to put your stuff on here, and we can have a real market whereby the fees are determined by the market rather than by this sort of centrally planned scarcity that's coming out of the BTC world. I mean, of course, they don't really control the actual price for fees, but they control the fact that the fees have to be high because there's no space on the blockchain. So in any case, there's no way this can possibly last. I mean, this makes no sense. Why would anybody transact on BTC and spend 1,400 times more money when they can transact on BSV and not spend that money on fees? And the reason is because the people who hijacked BTC also hijacked the name. And so what everyone calls Bitcoin today is benefiting from the original invention by Satoshi, even though the technology and the product of what is BTC today is now completely different than it used to be. The value proposition for Bitcoin is contained inside BSV. BSV is the one that's actually delivering on the original promise for Bitcoin, not BTC. BTC is a completely different project now. So in any case, this is not sustainable, and so I'm recording this for history. I mean, obviously what's going to happen is there's no room to grow, and as all of the applications adopt Bitcoin SV because it actually scales and actually makes economic sense, BTC can't last. So we'll just have to talk about that more in future videos and stuff like that. But in any case, I just wanted to record this for the record here. Let's see what happens in the next year. I mean, I predict what's going to happen is BSV is going to keep growing, and this is on a log scale here on both these charts. So the fact that it's linear on a log scale means we're growing exponentially. So let's see what happens in another year. I expected this to go up. Roughly speaking, if the trend holds, we're talking another 2 orders of magnitude of increase in transaction volume at this rate. So let's see if that holds. I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure if nothing else, we'll continue to outgrow BTC because there's no room for BTC to grow. So, all right, that's it. That's interesting, and we'll take a look at this again in the future and continue covering more information with respect to the technology and the product of Bitcoin SV. All right, thank you.